If your taxes are fairly straightforward, not complicated, you didn't make a whole lot of money, maybe you take the standard deduction, there's really no reason that you can't do them yourself. But if you have a complex situation, you were self-employed perhaps, rental income, you hire household employees, or you've had a big change in your life in the last year, such as divorce or retirement or even a new job, you really should consider getting help from a professional. The problems that we've seen with some of the nominees for the Obama administration really point up the risks of going on your own. The Treasury Secretary, Timothy Geithner, did his own taxes and didn't report self-employment taxes, and it almost derailed his nomination. Tom Daschle's nomination was derailed because he didn't report all of his income. So even if you don't think you're going to be nominated to a high administration position, if you have an unusual situation, it really does make sense to get some help. Unfortunately, in most states, tax preparers are not required to be licensed, so anyone can call himself or herself a tax preparer. So you really do have to move with caution. Ask people you trust for referrals, maybe your attorney or your financial planner or friends. Be wary of any preparer who promises to get you a larger refund than other preparers or tries to sell you other products, such as costly refund anticipation loans. And you should also ask your preparer about credentials. There are basically three types of individuals who are authorized to represent you before the IRS if you are audited: an enrolled agent, a certified public accountant, or a tax attorney. So you have a fair amount of assurance that they've had continuing education and have had to meet certain standards to prepare your taxes. So if you're unsure, at least inquire about these designations, and you may want to just narrow your search to someone who has one of these credentials. There are a lot of products on the market. The most popular one is TurboTax, H&R Block. Tax Cut is another big seller, and Tax Act, and there's several other smaller ones. You have to decide what works for you. Don't buy more firepower than you need. If you are only filing a 1040EZ, you don't need the premier edition of a software program that lets you calculate your investment income. So first, figure out what works for you. Then you need to decide whether you want to use a desktop program or an online program. The desktop programs, you load them into your computer, you do all your taxes, and they live on your hard drive until you're ready to send them out. Some people find that more comfortable. A downside is they tend to be more expensive, and you have to be very careful when you look at the cost, because oftentimes the e-filing will be extra. So you think you've done your taxes, you've paid the price, and then you find out to file electronically, which gets you your refund faster, will cost you another $20. So watch out for that. The online programs tend to be less expensive. You go to a secure website, do your taxes. You don't have to worry about installation, updates, or computer specs. You do your taxes, you file, and then you send it off. All of the major providers, TurboTax, Tax Cut, Tax Act, have online versions. So it's just basically which one you want to use. If your adjusted gross income was less than $56,000 in 2008, you qualify to use some of these same online tax preparation programs for free. To do this, you need to go to irs.gov, click on Free File, and you'll get a list of tax software companies that, in partnership with the IRS, will let you prepare and e-file your federal return at no cost. You are liable for the information on your tax return. So if you are hit with back taxes or penalties, you will have to pay them. Now, some software programs and tax preparers do provide audit support, sometimes for an extra cost, so that's something to ask before you hire a preparer or buy a program. If you hire a professional, you should ask that individual if he or she will be around after April 15th, because some preparers only work during tax season. And if you're audited or the IRS asks questions later, you want your preparer to be there for you.